seat, we do have Becky Adlman on Scapeshift versus Ross Merriam. Game 1, the idea to deal honest damage, so non-Valakut damage. We're saying using the combat step. Her deck's not great at it. Bloodbraid Elves can attack. Her 3-man deck Lightning Bolts can go upstairs.
The 2 Slag Storms.
2 Slag Storms can go upstairs, and the 4 Primeval Titans can attack. She only has 3 Bloodbraids today. 4 Sakura Tri-Builders. That's all her sources of non-Valakut damage. So Blood Moon is still very damaging here. She's not playing a main deck Reclamation Sage to Pact for.
Nope, there's some in the sideboard, but yeah, the main deck does not have that.
Yeah. If Ross knows this team, he'll know the matchup. He is on the draw. We'll go ahead and start out. A turn 3 Blood Moon play or draw should be good enough. Becky's deck does not really race that early.
Right, and Ross has a few cantrips that help him find that. Serum Visions. This is definitely looking like a turn 1 Serum Visions.
3 Blood Moons in the main. Now, some good news on Becky's side. A lot of the times when you see these Blue Moon decks, their win condition is something like Breach Emrakul. That's very scary for Scapeshift. That Ross's win condition is Pia and Kieran plus Desolate Lighthouse plus Jace. That is much better for the Scapeshift deck.
Yes. Bloodbraid Elf versus Jace. That goes the way of the elf.
You want something that wins, because there are situations where if Ross does not have a Blood Moon in play, he can resolve a Jace, activate Jace 3 times, and lose.
Correct. Ross is definitely pressured to finding Blood Moon quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like his hand does not have any red cards in it just yet. That's a big win.
If he's stocked with remands, it gives him both redraws and time.
Remand is a great card against Scapeshift. It's particularly good against Primeval Titans. It's only medium against the card Scapeshift. Becky can get to 8 lands to start casting it twice.
Right. The big thing is the remand has to find Blood Moon.
Yes. Yeah, it's a redraw for sure.
If you're just remanding and then going back to your turn, all of Ross's game plans are so mopey. The idea of racing Primeval Titan is just so ambitious.
Sakura Tri-Builder for Becky. A lot of the cards in this matchup just equal the same thing. We'll see if she wants to get chip damage. So Ross has only put himself to 19. So Becky's not actually sacking Tri-Builder this turn because she wants to hit once with it to put Ross to 18.
Yep.
It's pretty important.
And not doing anything with 4 mana either.
Yeah, I mean, there's the potential. You see she makes Explore here. A lot of your ramp spells, and like take this for example. Had she sacked the Tri-Builder, she would have gotten to recast Explore this turn. There was a real cost.
Yeah. Though Valakut is on the battlefield now. Unfortunately, the basic forest has showed up to play. Generally don't want to have that. It can matter against Blood Moon, though.
And now Becky will sack the Tri-Builder. She got... You want to think about it as multiples of 3. We're now 6 Valakuts away. We were 7. And that the big difference. Now, no need. The Tri-Builder's not going to get him down to 5 Valakuts away. So what? Go get the land.
And Becky has found second basic forest. That's going to be some insulation against Blood Moon.
Yeah, I mean, it means you can try to beat him up with a 6/6.
Yep.
In this matchup, game 1...
6/6 is pretty good against Ross's deck.
It is. There's like Remands and Cryptics, and, you know, I've gone for that play. It usually doesn't work. It's not 0. Because she has so many basic forests, one thing that's going to happen here, you see her lands, she has Valakut 2 forests. It's putting a lot of pressure on the card Scapeshift or Primeval Titan.
Yeah.
When you naturally draw mountains, sometimes you actually can run the strategy where you just start playing mountains that deal 3, and that can be a really good plan against a blue deck. It's not really available to her right now.
Right. Though Ross's deck generally does win very slowly.
So Becky casts Explore and then Farseek. Keep in mind she's not made either of her land drops yet.
Yeah, so we'll see what she has lined up for that. I do like the sequencing here where you cast the Farseek and have it made your lands. It makes Ross think that the Farseek is worth a lot where it might not necessarily be. It's
an interesting bluff strategy. It does let him pay less for Logic Knot if he wants. Looks like it's going to work regardless. She'll get Stomping Ground. So that's mountain number 2. Remember, the 6th one is when we start getting 3-point burn spells. Cinderglade in hand. Don't know that she has another land. She has the opportunity to play up to 7 right now.
Right.
Had the land up for a turn, then that Explore gave her another possible land drop. Some good news here from Becky's teammates over on the Legacy seat. Caleb Scherer takes game 1 over Tannen.
I got to say, the current iterations of Delver, they don't have as good a Storm matchup as they have historically.
No, they're more discard, less counterspell, which I don't.
Well, they're just less counterspell on discard in the sideboard.
Okay, that's that. Yeah.
Game 1's rough.
Ross here just getting basic islands. Gonna opt end step. Still looking for that Blood Moon. What can be really frustrating about playing against Blue Moon is that even when they don't find Blood Moon, this like KO card that they just happen to play 3 of in the main, they actually stall really well too. You see Ross opt again. He's already cast 1 remand. He's got another one in his hand. If Ross, what he can't do here is if he has Jace the Mind Sculptor, he can't tap out for that.
No, that would
will lose.
not be a good play.
It will get Primeval Titaned. Looks like the card he kept on top was Cryptic Command that turn.
It's a powerful one.
And chose to draw that one with the opt.
It is an unfortunate thing for Valakut players that they play this big creature that's horrible when it's countered, and you just can't play Cavern of Souls.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's another It's another weak spell. She'll go for Primeval Titan. This will eat a counter. I mean, like I said, one of the advantages, depending on your build as to how many forests you play, is that you have the ability to just land drop out your opponent sometimes. And Becky's somewhat interested in that. She's playing 4 Valakuts. Sometimes you see Scapeshift players play only 3. They'll play like lots of basic forests, only 3 Valakuts, and they're just kind of saying out loud, hey, I really want to Titan or Scapeshift you. I'm not really interested in the incremental plan. And there's the winner for Ross. There's the Blood Moon.
It's Blood Moon and leaving up 2 blue mana as
well. For remand, yeah. This is a tough matchup. And now we see that her land's turned off. She has 2 forests. She can still cast spells, but Ross's remand is just great. Becky draws her 1 of Relic of Progenitus, the one main deck one. That's not going to do much. She'll make another Primeval Titan. It'll get remanded. Ross remands into remand off it. That's... yep.
He will need eventually...
Those blue mages.
At some point, he'll need to find a way to win the game, though he's bought himself a lot of time.
Yeah, well, land 6 should do it. Ross has Jace the Mind Sculptor in hand, and he has a remand. And it's not like Becky's going to make more than 1 relevant card per turn. He finds a window for the Jace, and he should be fine.
Yeah, now Scapeshift is just not a card that matters.
Nope.
Ross does not know that Becky's not on main deck
Reclamation
Sage, so you do want to pay some respect to that.
Well, you see Ross with Desolate Lighthouse, even if she does that, for Rec Sage plus Titan to matter, she's still looking at 9 lands.
Yeah.
She only has 7. You're not going to get up there. Ross will make Jace, and this should seal it up.
Yeah, Jace with 2 blue still up, still hanging on to that Logic Knot.
And he'll scry here. Doesn't want to get hit by a main deck Slag Storm, Lightning Bolt.
The Logic Knot's not going to play if the Relic exiles, but...
No.
There's not a ton that Becky can really do. You cast Primeval Titan, Jace just bounces it. There's no Valakuts anymore. It's all mountains.
Well, let's see if this is something that's new to the deck. She drew Bloodbraid Elf this turn. This will get better post sideboard, but game 1 even, it gives her some options. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Can she aggro on Ross's at 14?
She's had Slag Storm in hand pretty much the whole game as well.
Right, and that's another Lava Spike. So here's Bloodbraid Elf. Ross is going to let it cascade to see what it's going to cascade into. Summoner's Pact. That will probably find another Bloodbraid Elf if he lets it happen.
Yeah.
The hard part is that Summoner's Pact is really bad when there's a Blood Moon in play.
Gonna eat all those green mana.
It's just time walks yourself to... Yeah, it's... Especially when you time walking yourself when your opponent has an onboard Jace is like 5 for 1ing yourself. She might not even cast it. And it was an unlucky cascade. She plays 2 Summoner's Pacts. It's among your worst cascades always.
Yes.
And the other one's in her hand. So, yeah, and you see decline. Yeah, she's going to decline to cast.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, just... That was a bad beat. I mean, I guess since Blood Moon's in play, a lot of the cards are bad beats. Like, okay, maybe you find Farseek. Great.
Yeah, Farseek.
Search for Tomorrow.
Not figuring to be very good anymore.
Bloodbraid Elf will attack Jace. And snap Caster Mage into play just to block. I like... This is a really good resource management by Ross as well. Just... Normally think Snapcaster is this really valuable card, and it is. But that he converts that resource that way so that he doesn't have to remand, he doesn't have to Logic Knot is really smart.
And when you just have a Jace going, you can throw away some resources.
Yeah. Well, especially because Becky can't really play more than 1 card a turn. This Blood Moon's really good. Ross will Brainstorm. Finds Pia and Kieran, finds another Jace, has a huge grip. He's going to be able to walk this one in. Blood Moon, Game 1 Blood Moons are just really rude for Primeval Titan strategies.
Yeah, the lineup great in this matchup.
You know, these decks are built around finding lands that have lots of relevant text on them.
Mm-hmm.
After putting the cards back, Ross casts Serum Visions, re-grabs one of them, and scries the other to the bottom.
Yeah, fetch lands are off because of the Blood Moon, but you still have a little bit of manipulation.
Rivals of Ixalan draft player.
Plenty of time as well.
Tina. Rivals of Ixalan draft player Logan Tina. Your draft is ready to begin. Please report to the assignment.
Unclear how much Becky knows about Ross's exact build. You do want to figure out what he's doing to win the game. Look out for X-Arts or breaches.
Maybe. She doesn't, I mean, it'll be interesting for her sideboard to know what Ross does to win.
Right.
But when it comes to just like...
I'm not saying that Ross is
Yeah.
going to have any trouble winning.
Yeah, she'll be interested to know. It'll affect her plan. However he chooses to win, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Like the game was over when the Blood Moon Jace happened.
Right.
You know, she's going to just deploy all the threats in her hand and hope one of them resolves, and she probably does not expect that any of them will.
Right.
Another remand from Ross. That's a time walk, and here's Vendilion Click. Yeah, sure, there's no surprises. She debated whether she wanted to show. Slagstorm, Scapeshift, Summoner's Pact, Sakura Tribe Elder, Primeval Titan.
I mean, you might take the Slag Storm because it answers the click. You don't have to take anything.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, you asked how is Ross going to win? The answer is this 3-1.
Yep. Also just has the PN Kieran.
Sure.
And click is common in the combo builds as well. Pretty much any Blood Moon Jace deck is going to have Vendilion Click in some number. Ross could just go the line where he chooses to close with the click, even though he
Just
can
to
pretty
not show.
safely cast the Pia and Kieran. Pretend he has some combo.
Yeah, because once you see Pia and Kieran, then you should assume there's no combo.
Right.
I like actually what you're saying there, that to disguise there is a good call. And he just continues to brainstorm with Jace. I mean, if he really wants to disguise, he could start trying to win with like Jace Fate Seals. That's actually real.
Yeah.
This is much safer.
It's also just faster.
Yeah. Attacks for 3. Yeah, that bingo square of Jace Ultimates. That's a good one. Even when players have a game where they could do it, they just don't.
Yeah, it just almost never happens.
Becky draws Bloodbraid Elf. And just count. Still a Logic Knot in Ross's hand. You'll see it cascades into probably like a Search for Tomorrow. Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
Called
a Search for
it.
Tomorrow.
Called it. So good at this. Go get that third basic forest. It's the only land in your deck that isn't a mountain.
Mm-hmm. Pretty powerful card, that basic forest.
Someday we might cast a Bloodbraid Elf and a Primeval Titan in the same turn with these 3 green mana.
You can pay for Summoner's Pact and cast a Bloodbraid Elf.
Or you can Pact for Elf and cast it. Boom. That's huge. It's going to be a real game changer. This is going to get electrolyzed. For Blood Moon's stupid.
4 p.m. Legacy. 4 p.m. Legacy.
This is
players.
It
just
takes great games of Magic and makes them dumb.
This is fun interactive.
I don't like this card. Oh, look.
Find your seats so we
It dies and Ross draws a card.
4 p.m. Legacy.
I disagree with the claim that just casting Ram spells and winning with the land is a good game.
I have fun with it. And Becky will pick up cards.
Yeah,
There we go. There we go. No, we're good.
You can't beat a spell snare. And we're going to game
That's
2.
cool. That's real great. Ross Merriam takes game 1, as does his teammate Brennan DeCandio, blue-black control in standard. So 2-1 on the game 1s right now. We'll look at some sideboarding options. Things do get better for Becky after sideboard. We'll talk through those when we come back. Back here with sideboarding here on the modern match. Becky Adlman versus Ross Merriam. She's going to look toward the sideboard for some answers. Now, actually, with Bloodbraid Elf being printed, I think the reason I like Scape Shift more as build, I used to play Breach, but I'm into this to Scape Shift, is the fact that the flexibility of sideboarding that Bloodbraid Elf gives is actually pretty significant for the deck.
Yeah, you can take more of a beatdown plan.
Yeah.
As we go to the sideboard here for Becky Adlman, we have 2 Engineered Explosives, 2 Beast Within, 2 Pulse of Marasa, 2 Obstinate Baloth, a couple Nature's Claim, a couple Tireless Tracker, an Anger of the Gods, a Reclamation Sage, and a Relic of Progenitus. Relic's fine in the matchup. There's Logic Knots, there's Snapcaster Mages.
Yep.
The Tireless Trackers are very good.
Right, so what I want to do out of the Scape Shift deck in sideboarding is that if you're going to spend this card that doesn't really do anything to mess with my lands, like, okay, you make Blood Moon, fine. My next play will be Bloodbraid Elf Cascade into Tireless Tracker, go. Like, good for you. Yeah, my lands are off, but now I, get beaten up.
Yeah.
I like that she has 2 trackers. I think if she's on a full beatdown plan, she might even board an Obstinate Baloths here, just at like every creature.
Yeah.
The slam dunks, you're going to play the one of Reclamation Sage, of course.
Yes.
You have the 2 packs. You probably keep them around. I think you will see the Beast Withins. They hit Blood Moon. You can cascade into them. They hit Jace. If there's a Blood Moon down, she can also just Beast Within her own land and make a 3/3 if she's actually on a beatdown plan. That sounds kind of mopey, but it's fine.
I buy that.
Nature's Claim, probably.
Gotta hit the Blood Moon.
That one feels bad because
Yes.
because Ross literally has 3 cards in his deck that it hits.
Right.
Becky starting on a mountain here. Kind of suggests her hand's all basics. Normally you'll see him start on a tap land. But on a 7-card hand, I mean, Scape Shift keeps basically all its 7s because its 6-card hands are all bad. It's a ramp deck.
Yeah. I just need a bunch of mana sources.
I need a lot of different cards to do my thing. So if I have fewer cards, my thing doesn't happen. I'll like run out of lands on 5.
In these games where Bloodbraid Elf and Tireless Trackers are very good, you're also just asking even less of your opening hands.
Double top on the Serum Visions for Ross. That's got to be a concern. Sakura Tribe Elder from Becky Adlman. Second land from Ross, a pass. No Bloodbraid here. She did not EOT sack the Tribe Elder. Legacy's evened up 2 games, 1 game apiece. Tan and Grace beating Caleb. Becky attacks for 1 with Tribe Elder. I'm not sure she has another mana source. She goes for another Tribe Elder. Ross will remand. She does, though. Valakut. Good sequencing.
Yeah.
Disguising whether or not the land drop was there.
Ross's play is pretty forced to remain there, though.
Blood Moon is in Ross's hand. And he's going to pass. So he very much is aware of the fact that his Blood Moons may get blown up.
He also just has a Vendilion click, so he'll get a chance to look.
Another Tribe Elder. First going to see if that resolves before attacking. Resolves now. Here's a hit. Ross to 17. Every multiple of 3 she manages to deal damage matters here. But no land and a pass. Ross plays Vendilion Click. And she'll bolt with Click on the stack. Now we see Summoner's Pact, Scape Shift, Pulse of Marasa, and third one down.
So I think it's
another Summoner's Pact, I believe.
It's another Sakura Tribe Elder.
Tribe Elder. Yeah, I believe you're right. I think we have another Tribe Elder.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Junior Super Series promo.
Yeah. He picks the Scape Shift. Interesting that Ross goes for that play on the Scape Shift when he has Blood Moon in hand. Blood Moon, and he's going to cast it. He's going to cast Blood Moon here, and the Scape Shift's turned off more or less. Or did he take? He must have taken something else. Let me get a look at that in a sec. Blood Moon's down. Ross leaves up a mountain. Which one did he take? Summoner's Pact. Correction, Ross took Summoner's Pact to deny the Reclamation Sage and then to Blood Moon. That makes sense. A hit for 2, Ross down to 15. We're going to get to see this kind of value plan in action where you just aggro. I guess when I described it, it wasn't 3 Tribe Elders that I was actually going for, but that's what we have.
I have played a good amount of Sakura Tribe Elder in my time, I have never just controlled 3 and been attacking with
Here's what
them.
happened. She's going to draw Tireless Tracker, and it's going to be the sweetest Tireless Tracker.
That is a nice combination.
Like, I'm going to get all these clues. Ross makes PN Kieran Noir, leaves up a blue for a potential spell snare, says go. Does Becky have an answer? We'll see. She's now deciding how many, if any, Tri-Bellers she wants to sacrifice. Now that they're not good for damage, there's less of a reason to keep them around. And it looks like the answer is 2. This will give her Primeval Titan.
Yeah, the attacks are just no good anymore.
Right.
One of them runs into the PNK, and then the other 2.
Yeah, she's going to
whatever.
hang on to the 3rd Tri-Belder in case she draws Tireless Tracker. There's no real reason. The 7th land isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Sometime, you know, she's not playing a Gaia's Revenge or a Hornet Queen.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Sometimes you'll see if they get up to 8-1 Woodfall Primus. Does not have that today.
You ever registered a Rurik Thar?
Not in this deck. Usually, no.
Rurik Thar is sweet.
It's good against Storm.
Yeah.
You make an early Rurik Thar and it's like, yeah. It's like a really big Eidolon.
Storm's at 2, and you're dead.
Yeah, with the Woodfall Primus, normally the Breach lists will play one of those.
Yeah. Get that Stone Rain.
Yeah, it's 2 of them.
It's like
2 Stone Rains.
Not as good as a Plow Under.
I don't know. It's like, yeah, it's.
They don't have to
Yeah.
redraw their lands.
I can do it on your end step.
You can do that.
So evened up in the standard match. Paul Muller takes game 2 over Brennan DeCandio. So Becky consulting here with Caleb Scherer.
The Blood Moon's shutting off most of the fancy things that the deck does, though Becky has access to those 3 forests, so she can be casting spells. Haven't seen a Bloodbraid Elf materialize in this game just yet, though. That's a powerful one.
If you're on the value plan, I mean, that's what you want to be seeing is the trackers. She'll cast Primeval Titan. It's going to resolve. It'll get some lands. It'll thin the deck.
I think you may as well get Valakuts, right? In case you find an
Well,
answer to the Blood Moon.
The best thing actually to do is to get fetch lands in case you find she has 2 Valakuts in play. So you get a big stack of fetch lands, and the moment you blow up the Blood Moon, you kill them.
Sure. Oh, yeah. She's also a good amount off of having the threshold of mountains.
Right.
Sure.
But yeah, the trick under Blood Moon is you get all these fetch lands, and then like you get 5 mountains and as many fetch lands as you can, and then you just get them immediately.
Gotcha.
So right now she has 2 Stomping Grounds. She has 2 Valakuts, 3 mountains, 3 forests. So 2 more mountains and then fetch lands would be the plan.
Gotcha. That 6/6 is mighty large. It's not great against
You
things
need
like
3
Jace.
Thopters to shoot that one down.
It'll take a lot of Thopters.
We'll go back over to Ross. He's at 15. Remember, though, Ross knew about this Primeval Titan when he tapped for PN Kieran, so he had a plan. We'll see what it is.
Yeah,
He was either cold to it or he had a plan.
there's definitely a Jace in his hand.
I don't know that I want to Jace unsummon this unless I can counter it on the way back down. I'm pretty out,
I mean, unless you have a plan that's actually good against it.
I guess.
This one at least kind of
I guess you don't want it
deals
to
with
attack. That's just worse. You
You get hit for 6. It finds lands anyway.
Primeval Titan's so great. It's just like double, you know, so the list of cards that both search your deck and cheat the cost on them. It's like Tinker, Stoneforge Mystic, Primeval Titan.
That is just the most dishonest list I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, cards that both tutor for something and then put it into play for you.
No, I was talking about you putting Primeval Titan on the list with Tinker.
I mean, Tinker's better, but I'm just saying, like, all the other cards on this list are just banned in all their formats, you know? So, like, cards that do both of those things at the same time are just generally unreasonable.
Well, Primeval Titan's banned in Commander.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. Look, it's not Stoneforge, but it's really I don't think it's unfair to put them on the same list. They're doing the same thing.
I mean, it's a lot better than Colossal Dreadmaw.
Up to the stage, we can verify what
Which
we
one?
have or get your
6 mana,
That's
6/6
okay.
trample.
email
Yeah.
Have you ever played any limited
yeah,
format?
Yeah, I had to.
It's in all of them now.
I know. It's like better than Crawworm.
Definitely better than Crawworm.
More toughness, more has trample, does some things.
Yeah.
It's not a worm though.
No, that is true. It is a giant. Not a lot of support for giants.
You know, if you say Cavern of Souls naming Primeval Titan, people say that's not legal. Frost will attack for 2 with Thopters. I like to say that sometimes. Like, that's not a thing. Like, fine, I'll name Giant.
Just don't name Titan.
Yeah, that's actually a thing you can name and don't name it.
Don't do that.
Ross just leaves up all the mana. Well, see, Becky just wants to attack with Primeval Titan.
I
like that.
Is it Cryptic Command or is Ross just losing?
Yeah. If it's Cryptic Command, it's like, okay, cast it. We're good. Just cast it. Swing with Primeval Titan. Trigger. Go get your lands. So we're going to see, yeah, like I said, mountains, fetch lands. I don't think you want another Valakut yet. It actually doesn't really increase your clock. So get Stomping Ground. That's mountain number 4.
Seems to me that the amount that it matters is extremely low.
You just want to make it such that you have the greatest odds that when you blow up the Blood Moon, you instantly have lethal.
Yeah.
So like 1 fetch land, 1 mountain is actually pretty good here because then no matter, like you have the 5th mountain on that Sakura Tri-Builder already.
Yep.
So I actually get like, I would have gone probably, I mean, I guess the Tri-Builder is a fetch land in a lot of ways. So getting 2 mountains here is fine. I think from this point out, she wants to get fetch lands.
Sure. You definitely want to leave some mountains in your deck. You got to stop grabbing those at a point.
I mean, you're right. You have 13.
Yeah,
so
you have a lot.
It's not too bad. All your search finds basic mountains. Well, Farseek finds whatever. But Tri-Builder and Search for Tomorrow find basics. So she's right to be grabbing the Cinderglades and Stomping Grounds. That's that's heads up.
Yep, definitely. And Becky's had that Pulse of Marasa in hand for a long time. That one's not looking like it's going to play in this game.
Yeah, Ross going to 9. So it's going to be pretty safe to say that the moment the Blood Moon leaves, he's dead. The Tri-Build is already 6 points of damage. I'm sure she has 3 more somewhere.
Right. Not too hard to find if Blood Moon's not in play.
Right. Yeah, like one of the things, you want to be able to build a large instant speed stack, stuff like that. But another Tri-Builder here, great. There's definitely 2 basic mountains left in the deck. She'll say go. What does Ross have on step? He's going to Lightning Bolt the Primeval Titan. Okay. And Snapcast Lightning Bolt the Primeval Titan.
I have never made this play in a game that I've won.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I have. You mean I'm just going to Pulse of Marasa. Ooh.
Well, I think she might have picked up Nature's Claim.
Oh, Nature's Claim on the Blood Moon. Okay. Now that you have done this, I would like to kill you with these Tri-Builders. Oh, wait, no.
Ross gains 4 life.
He gains 4. Oh, it goes to 1.
It's probably still going to lose.
I don't know. It's not for sure yet.
Like, probably.
Yeah. Wrong match. Go back to our regular match. Ross goes to 13. Primeval Titan's dead. She has 12 damage in play.
Also has Pulse Marasa to get back either Primeval Titan or Sakura Tri-Builder.
Yeah, does she have a fetch land in the yard? She could get that. She wants to just like not have counter spells matter.
Yeah, I don't know that she's fetched in this game. She started on Mountain, right?
Yeah, she started on Mountain Forest. I don't think she actually has a fetch land. A tragedy.
I think she's
It's
still
probably
winning.
fine.
Ross is on 2 lands, Jace in hand.
Yeah, it is probably fine. Jace, Jace Mountain Sulfur Falls.
He can Jace brainstorm into another Blood Moon,
Huh?
but he'll go to 1 in the interim.
Well, that might just be his line. Though she, that might just be his line. You want to watch out. The other thing that why Becky might want overkill is when going for these Valakut kills, she needs to be aware of Cryptic Command bouncing a Valakut in response to one of these sacrifices.
Yes.
So That matters. And Becky's going to need this game now. We have an update. Over in Legacy, both sideboarded games go the way of Tan and Grace. 2-1, he wins.
Those Cabal therapies certainly help things.
Ross tapping down. Now that Cryptic's off the board, off the radar, he taps for Jace. Becky will be more aggressive here. Ross brainstorms Lightning Bolt, land, Serum Visions.
Nope, that's even if you vision in a Blood Moon, you can't cast it anymore. Also, you can't do
You
that
can't crack
because you're
the fetch
putting
land.
2 cards back.
You can't crack the fetch land either because you go to 12. You'll lose if you crack the fetch for this brainstorm.
Pick him up, Ross. You did your best. Couldn't even Blood Moon down the Valakut deck.
Well, he has a third game. He definitely did Blood Moon down the Valakut
Yeah,
deck once.
it happened once.
Like, what I'm impressed here is that, so this is a matchup, this is how this matchup always felt to me in the past. Hard, but winnable. This is because Becky hasn't cast any Bloodbraid Elves.
Yep.
Now, the fact that she gets to try this again Game 3 and have Bloodbraid Elves in her deck, it's just going to get close.
Yeah. I've been a little suspicious of this Pulsa Marasa.
Yeah.
We'll see if that one's still in
So
for
I'm
game
not
3.
a huge fan of the card. What I do like, the more time Bloodbraid Elves we play, the more 3-mana cards I want to play, because generally 3-mana cards are just really nice things to cascade into. They do powerful things. And Pulse of Marasa counts for that. Maybe.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, it's closer. And Becky showing, yeah, I'm going to sack here, and kill you. Does that work? Ross says, yes, it does. We're going to game 3.
Blood Moons versus Volcanoes, part 3 coming up soon.
Becky looks over at Paul's match, says, all right, I'm still live. You got to win this one.
Yeah, both of them will need to win.
All right, we'll be back in 1 minute with the conclusion of the round. Here over in Modern, and things have gotten real interesting now, Ryan. Paul Muller defeats Brendan DeCandio, so now it's all on this match here in Modern. If Becky wins, she'll send her team to the top 8.
The Scherer of God, no match for the Bone Picker.
If Ross wins, he'll send his team to the 1 seed.
Got to figure the match matters a lot more to Scherer, Adlman, Muller.
I mean, Tannen is out for a trophy. And when you say being the 1 seed is not just winning 1 die roll in the elimination, it's 3 die rolls. That's a real prize.
Yes.
You're right. There's a lot riding on it certainly for Becky's team.
It's harder to win the top 8 at a low seed. It's impossible to win if you don't make the cut.
Yeah.
And we are going to see Ross on the play. That matters a lot when you're remanding. You want to get ahead of this Scape Shift deck. So we'll see if Becky can get online with some aggressive Bloodbraid Elves, maybe some Tireless Trackers that can really throw a wrench in the system.
Drew Pearson Lauro one. But that's the mono white team.
And we see
That's like mono white.
good mix of answers to Blood Moon in Becky's deck in these post-sideboard games. Nature's Claim being decisive in game 2 there. Currently, Becky revisiting some sideboarding. The whole squad is free up now. They're looking at it.
You know, Becky, I would be careful here. She's pretty experienced with the deck. Caleb has played it a couple of times. I don't know if Paul has any experience with it.
You definitely don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen, especially trying to assist the master chef.
So when I played, I tell my teammates generally to leave me alone in this situation. It's like, you're going to make me worse by, like, it's not like you're not, like, I will ask her for help if I need it.
Yeah, I had this thing that happened when I was teaming with Harlan, where we play a lot of similar decks, but my lists are pretty different. And I'd come to a decision point where I had to do some thinking. And I thought, well, it's a team event. I was tagging Harlan. And I asked him like 4 times. And every time I just immediately regretted listening to him. And it's not like his advice was
attacking.
It's not like his advice was bad.
No.
It just like was not consistent with my general deck building or play style.
He sends more burn spells upstairs than you do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we just play differently.
Yeah.
Like, he gave me advice that he believed was correct, and there was reason to like listen to the things that he said. Just didn't work out.
Something's happening.
I think it looks like some cards might have been dropped shuffling here.
Okay. I am interested about the revisiting some sideboard plans of the deck, like I've been kind of mentioning now that Now that Bloodbraid Elf is around, Bloodbraid Elf is a card that really impacts sideboarding options.
Yes. It also just makes the general game plan for Ross worse. Counter spells are very bad against Bloodbraid Elf.
No counter flux or something like that to get the whole thing. That's too cute.
When people say, yeah, you can just counterflux or double negative, it's like, yeah, I can put a horrendous card in my deck.
You're playing cancel in your deck. Let's start by saying you're putting cancel in your deck.
And sometimes they won't Thoughtseize me. Like, it won't be Jund, and they won't Thoughtseize me. And sometimes I'm just on the draw, and then I lose anyway.
Yeah, I make Bloodbraid, especially in Becky's deck that makes it on turn 3, even in the play it doesn't work. Yeah, I'm going to turn 3 on the draw even a Bloodbraid Elf. You're going to look at your counterflux and be like, what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you want to beat Bloodbraid Elf, I put down the blue-red cards.
You could Thoughtseize it.
Sure can. Can't Thoughtseize the one on top of the deck.
Idle. No, then your Snapcasters don't like it when you play like Rule of Law.
Yeah, Idle Rhetoric, Snapcaster Mage, not much of a combination.
Ross on the mulligan. Remember, with Becky's teams on the decision, they don't seem to like it much, but keep in mind with Scapeshift, you just don't have many good 6s.
Yeah.
On the draw, you have some good 6s. On the play, you have no good 6s. Sometimes you mull them anyway, and you just like don't mull to 5 on the play. If your 6 is 3 lands, 3 spells, even if it's like 3 lands, Scapeshift, Primeval Titan, Lightning Bolt, you're probably keeping. You're just like, it's probably going to lose, but here we go.
You're probably not jazzed about 1-landers. You're probably not jazzed about a lot of 6-landers.
5 is okay.
But within 5 and 2, you're probably fine either direction.
Yep, 5-landers you usually keep.
5 spellers, unless it's just like Titan.
It's like in the blind, like 5 lands, Lightning Bolt, Farseek is a borderline keep, which is kind of embarrassing.
I mean, if the Lightning Bolt's good, whatever.
Yeah. your opponent, you kill a thing, you ramp once, maybe. You draw 1 Bloodbraid Elf, this hand's real nice.
Yeah.
You draw another Farseek and then a Titan on time, and hey, you made a turn 4 Titan.
Exactly.
Wasn't even hard. Ross keeping on 6. So here is the deciding game. Serum Vision's top and bottom to start.
Also, scrying before you cast a turn 1 Serum Vision is pretty powerful. Get more information on the first draw.
Becky, we have not seen a Search for Tomorrow yet from her, and let's start one off this time. It's among the best cards in the deck.
Yes.
Only 1-mana ramp spell that
one's always scary. Part of my plan in this matchup has always been Spell Snare. It's been pretty pivotal, and the search just gets around that.
The one I don't like is when you suspend this and then they lay in an Arbiter you. That one stinks. Or like Thalia. Just like, oh my gosh.
You're one of like the 2 decks in the format that's bad against Arbiter.
Yeah, sometimes you keep this and all your other lands in your hand are fetch lands and they make an Arbiter and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm losing. I can't even do anything.
That Grizzly Bear killed me.
It's already a double Stone Raid. I sure hope they don't draw Ghost Quarter. Then it's a more Stone Raid.
Guess I'll just sign the slip.
The worst part is like what happened, like, they played this 2/2 for 2 with all planes and like I was done. It's like, your deck's embarrassing. I was like, yeah. All right, Valakut for Becky. Ross does have Blood Moon again. And you kind of assume in this matchup from the Scapeshift side that your stuff's going to get Blood Moon, and that's just the way of things.
Yeah, and it's also just Ross needs Blood Moon to play.
Yeah, and you see Becky started with turn 1 Windswept Teeth fetching out Forest. Just Forest into Valakut. What a combo. She knows.
The curve.
Like, wait, that doesn't count for us, does it? Nope. Sure doesn't. Ross will pass here on 3 mana.
It was an awkward decision point because his 4th land is a fetch land, also because he wants to have access to this counter spell.
He wants to remand the Search for Tomorrow. Now, Becky might just, if she has another untapped land, cast it again.
Yep.
That's not terrible. Like, yeah. I think she has something better, Explore, but that's going to go into a Spell Snare. That's a bit of a win for Ross. That would be the danger of going for Explore there, is that you're opening up to Spell Snare. You're letting Ross spend his mana. Spell Snare is actually just a pretty good card against Scapeshift.
Yes. A lot of 2-mana ramp spells.
Yeah. But I think I would have liked to have seen just the search. Well, get your lands out.
The story of everything that's happening here, it's a little behind the scenes. Becky hasn't seen it yet. Is that Ross is going to set up a Blood Moon. The search doesn't really matter so much at that point.
Is he setting up a Blood Moon or is he setting up a Jace?
On this turn, he can fairly freely Jace. It's not like he's getting Valakutted immediately.
Becky's going to resuspend the search for tomorrow. I'm going to check to see if she does it off a basic forest or off a stomping ground here, because that search is already good for the last forest. And it looks like she's just going to go for all her basics.
Yeah, being able to cast a good mix of green spells, things like Pang for Pact and casting a green creature on the same turn.
Big turn here. Jace. Tap is a shock and Jace from Ross. He's opening himself up. He is crossing his fingers about Bloodbraid Elf. And he'll scry to further the point.
Yeah, there's Bloodbraid Elves, there's Lightning Bolts. Don't want to deal with that.
Does Becky have one? Let's see. She's got the untapped land. I don't see an elf. Yeah, there's the Valakut. Farseek. This is a win for Ross. The Jace is going to survive. That's huge.
Right. Also, Ross just gets the Blood Moon on the following turn.
Yes. Finds stomping ground. Ross going to, and you see now Brainstorm from Ross. He has Blood Moon and Cryptic Command available.
There are 5 additional turns. Again, Team Open competitors, that is time in the final
And things are slowly snowballing in Ross's direction.
Mm-hmm.
You start brainstorming, you get ahead on cards, filter your draw. He picked up a Cryptic Command.
Just says, go. Here's Search for tomorrow. I bet he'll let it resolve this time.
Yeah.
We'll just Cryptic the relevant things.
Right. Becky's not at the requisite mountain threshold.
No. She's going to start going for some mountains. So 2 mountains now with the 2 Valakuts. Eventually, Ross will go ahead and Blood Moon if she starts getting close to scape shifting him.
Yep.
Or just, I mean, 4 more mountains and they all start dealing 6.
Yeah, you got to stop that.
Yeah, land drops that deal 6 kill you pretty quick. Primeval Titan in hand, she's got to know that that's no good. This is Ryan, where what I would want to do is make a land drop and then Gaia's Revenge attack the Jace. Just be like, yeah, counter, yeah. You blue mages, you think you're so smart. Look at this green thing.
I've lost to Carnage Tyrant in Modern.
Yeah. You'll see 1 or 2 of those sometimes out of this deck.
Yeah. I would have lost to Primeval Titan in that game,
Right.
but the fact that it was Carnage Tyrant
was way more
was
annoying.
extremely frustrating.
Cryptic Command, counter draw on the Primeval Titan for Ross. And they're saying, wait, we have effects. Gonna play a land. Now you can go. Mountain number 3. Brainstorm again. That's all Jace is gonna do this game. Picks up a Braid. All right, a Braid is actually a lot of respect for Tyler's tracker that Ross has put that in. I like it.
Yeah, you want to keep that off the battlefield. You want to check Bloodbraid Elf as well.
Just shows he's doing his homework. You know, you generally wouldn't look at a Valakut deck and say, oh yeah, and give me those Braids.
Your pairings are at the gathering point.
Ross loves homework.
That's true.
I mean, look
I
at
bet,
him.
Yeah.
30 modern turbo.
He was the person who'd go after class and ask the teacher for more homework.
I did the required reading, but I was wondering if there's a specific additional 3 chapters you could recommend.
He'd do it in the way where you ask loudly, though, so that the other students would hear you asking the teacher for this, and then everyone would just be like, oh, it's that Ross kid. Seriously, man. If she assigns another chapter because of what you just said, I'm beating you up after school.
It's paying off, though.
Yeah, Blood Moon.
They're playing for the 1 seed in this tournament.
And Becky, here's Primeval Titan. Ross will remand it. Remand is good against 6 mana cards.
Turns out.
Ugh.
Time walk you.
Forest go, and Ross has taken control. He's got Blood Moon, Jace. This is going to look a lot like Game 1. This should get Team BCW the top seed in the single elimination rounds.
Yep, and
if
now
he can just hang on here. And there's the win con, the Vendilion click.
Yep.
Not doing it in draw steps. Going to want to leave up possibility of Cryptic Command. Becky can still do that setup I was talking about. where you get fetch lands and Valakuts, and you say, the moment I blow up that Blood Moon, I'm killing you. It's going to be harder because Ross will win the counter war over it.
Yes.
Yeah, Valakut, that's untapped. Good call, Paul.
Yeah, that's a mountain. Definitely can't cast Titan twice even still.
No, Primeval Titan's actually good here, and if she has the mana, and this gets countered, I was going to say if she had enough mana to scape shift, she should scape shift into a bunch of fetches.
Sure.
Here is Cryptic Command counter draw for Ross. That was off a Snapcaster Mage. Jace keeps working.
Now we got the
Land,
Snapcaster beats
Harvest Pyre. That's like just a Doomblade here. Taps, attacks for 2. Becky to 16. Ross has Vendilion Click.
That kills your precious Primeval Titan. It ain't pretty.
Well, look, we go for this Scape Shift, and we Scape Shift into some fetch lands and play the Sakura Tribe Elder. And the moment we draw the, like, I'm not sure that Ross has Nature's Claim covered yet.
Yeah.
It looks like Becky's not making that play. Ross is leaving her with Scape Shift. I do think that's what you'd want to be doing here, is if you have the lands to set it up for an immediate lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not clear whether or not Ross could cover that. Only so many cards in his deck do that.
Right. And he's getting close to lethal. Light 1, 2, is it 3 lightning bolts in hand and a Snapcaster? Becky does not have much time. Yeah, he's counting up. She might just be dead.
He has another red source in hand. 3, 6,
Yeah,
9.
hold
Snapcaster 12.
Hold on, this is the end of the game.
Yeah, this is lethal.
3 in the air.
Oh, the Sakura Tribe blocks the Snapcaster, so that wouldn't be able to connect. So you're 1 shy on this turn.
Okay, she gets 1 more draw. Making it count.
Don't
Don't
have a
know what
good
it
look at
is.
it. Might be Tireless Tracker.
I think so. There it is. Ross can Harvest Pirate.
Yeah, Ross is not concerned about that card.
Trigger from the land drop. That's a clue.
Attention Magic
Yeah.
players.
See what your redraw is.
Please report to customer service. Again, Cameron, Mother C, please report to customer
And here's the redraw. Explore. Hey, redraws. How's it going?
Storm's at 2.
Draw Mountain. That's the end of the chain, and that's going to be the end of the game. She could get 1 more clue. Yeah, she has another land drop, actually. She cast Explore.
But you wouldn't be able to destroy the Blood Moon plus Scape Shift anymore.
Right. And that's why I think you will maybe go to Escape Shift at the turn before. It doesn't matter. She draws Search for Tomorrow here, and that's not going to do it.
Nope.
So, I mean, she doesn't realize just how few turns she has, because Ross has a lot of Lightning Bolts. And we mean a lot of Lightning Bolts.
Yes.
2, 3 Lightning Bolts, and Becky extends the hand. Ross Merriam takes the win as we reach turns in Game 3. They move to the top of the top 8. You saw them at the top of the field here, but early today they had a bit of a falter, but